whatever it is, wherever you are. So actually, before I cycle this, ooh, I haven't emptied the trash yet. So I think my other maps may have ended up in this one. That's all I can do. Yep. Did we just have a map out in this one? I must have renamed it. So I'm going to want to keep these somewhere. Where was I messing? I know I grabbed some of them into, or I started messing around with the map stuff. We're just going to have a miscellaneous images for now. Okay, so you've got one. You had one. Messing around with something. That was a large capture of something. No. Did I get this set up to open with? Yeah. Okay, so that was... I forgot to note exactly what. That was a map of... Oh, this was supposed to be a corner. Yeah, so this was the lower section from the larger map, I think. So this was probably, well, I mean, 0, 0 is kind of the wrong way to look at this for labeling. I mean, I could work it out, but... So this would really be... geez. Oh, I don't... Well, that might actually still be this... Actually, the same settings. Might actually still be my settings for map pull. Okay, end is 0, 0. Negative 500. Negative 500. Negative 500, negative 500 to 0, 0. So these, to be consistent, would have to be... Oh, dash is kind of not a great character there, isn't it? Because we're going to have negatives. So this is really going to be negative 100 to negative 100 to 100, 100. Oh, shoot. Can I... Yeah, that's 200, 200. Oh, and then this is the before and after bug fix. There's new edit menu. So this is going to be the same. Negative 100, negative 100, 100, 100. Did you... Okay, that was an extension change. And then you're the same with the bug fix. And then this was negative 500 to 500. To 500, 500. All right, so that's can organize that stuff. So now, I'm going, let's see, I want to run this so I can see the problem easier. For that, see, I need you to recycle bin. And was I using a remote image? Oh, I might have to start up the local machine here. Because I'm going to be doing mapping, I want the local, or I want the communication to be as fast as possible. I think eventually I might actually want to try and mash up the client and server so that we can generate maps in process without having to go fetch them. But right now I need to solve the windowing problem to get something I can use with Leaflet. See if that's going to be practical. Yeah, that's still taking a while. Okay. Oh, okay, well, either I made it or I fetched it. I do have the local tag. So maybe I made it. So this is build server fetch. Build server build. I mean, I could have just fetched it, but we've got the stuff here to build it. Let's see, and then we're going to want settings. So for testing purposes, let's just do like a 10 by 10. That might even work with standard resolution. Or I guess even 5 by 5. What's taking its time to get started? And then I'm trying to remember. Well, I can do the env command once this gets done here. Or the IP command, rather. And to configure that. Now, I know that one of the issues is that the game tries to enforce a aspect ratio. So that is going to cause us some problems if we're trying to produce square tiles. Now, I think this we probably want to okay, not in any branch, good. Get checkout minus B. Almost done. Oh, no, we're still building. That was just the versions. All right, map poll mode. This is not map poll mode. Oh, which means that this is actually beyond an else, maybe? Okay, not just... Not map poll mode. Not map poll mode. Not map poll mode. If map poll mode... we grab a bunch of image. And if it's done, we write it. So something else has to be doing the iteration. Package server. That's final image. Last screen view center. Map poll current saved, current sent. Map poll current saved and not current sent. All right, so Docker machine. Okay, 99,100. Yeah, well, this is in minor gems. So I kind of consider that a JSON problem, although I guess he doesn't run on Windows most of the time. Large files. I think he actually does redirect to, well, I know in some of the programs he redirects to 64. I should use underscores for this. Package server run. And yeah, I think there might be a terminal problem with this. Anyway, so that's there. So set that to 10 by 10. I have a IP address now. Well, this is Docker for Windows. Well, I think it's technically Toolbox because I don't have Windows Pro and I haven't had enough reason to upgrade to it. And then we do map pull mode on. This one might be too fast for me to capture, actually. I guess we're basically going to be doing this. Although I'm probably going to be doing a custom XC at some point. So I should probably be, let's see, not copying that to our regular build. And doing one for mapping. We did our changes to that. That file doesn't figure that out easily. Yeah, I use Docker for Mac on the other computer, which I actually end up doing most of my builds. But I do want to have local on this, and it's easier to stream from this. Okay, so that seems to have been successful. Thanks. No, not 100%. Not even that. Oh, we actually caught some letterbox. Interesting. Okay. Now this is already 3,000, but it is an uneven proportion. 38, 40, 33, yeah, that is wider than it is tall. And we've noticed some letterboxing on this one. So if I want to use this as a base for doing map tiles, I need to make it put out square tiles. So map pull current is being apply receive offset. Oh, is this what bootstraps it? Load player's starting position. Okay, so this is some map pull setup. Map pull mode X. Last screen view center. Okay, so it's resetting screen center to exactly this. And then moving over by exactly 10 and 5. Oh, wait a minute. Well, it's moving the center to exactly there. So maybe the screen capture is doing a little bit of overwriting? Because I think I worked this out, and one of the directions was a fraction of a tile. Would it melt the program to actually like super increase its map buffer and just do one capture? Because then it would be pretty easy just to say capture a tile's worth, or even multiple tiles worth. For that, I would have to make sure it was grid aligned. Well, I would have to get some zoom mod code then. Because the base game doesn't do that outside of what the screen can do. So that's advancing it by 10 and 5 all the time, assuming the screen height and width. So that would actually be the smallest tile we could make. That would be fine. It doesn't have to be full size. So current XY, I'm going to have to fudge some of this stuff. Well, these get loaded from settings, but it could be an interesting... I have to recompile, though. Next one, it does the other. Size X, size Y. That is the size of a map chunk. Screen view center set to the current. Now we advance by 10. So actually what does happen? Now I had to do some interesting stuff. I played with this a little bit. But there's something either in here or in game that ends up forcing our hand on screen size. And for that, I probably want to turn off map pull mode. So we can just look at it. So if, oh, also that's a setting, screen, I mean, for a single tile, I could just set this to, well, let's get the proportions worked out first. So it's default to 1280. I believe the other default is 720. Yeah. But by itself, it will letterbox that. And that might be game. Letterbox bars, visible view width is view width. Do we ever update visible view width? Okay, so he sets this up as this. Yeah, so we'll probably have stuff cut off on the sides now because it's assuming it can draw out that far. But if we now turn map pull back on, oop. Now it might still be trying to grab what it thinks is the entire screen. And it's still stepping by a different amount. Can you... Yes, it is in fact stepping by the full amount and then capturing in those slices. Also, it's allocating the image based on that. Living life page. So I think we're going to have to step this by I mean, it should be the same, you'd think. And where do we allocate our image? No, it's not map poll mode, not map poll mode. Apply receive offset. Get screened dimensions. So something is still thinking the screen dimensions is full size. That might be a minor gems thing. Which is more than I wanted to touch. Or maybe there's something that sets the screen size that's still doing it. Get screen size? Get screen dimensions. Okay, so you have a screen width and screen height. Oh, setting manager has a is it found? So this says it's supposed to get them from settings. Non-integer scaling, uh-oh. Screen width smaller than target game width. Okay, so there is something here. Oh, I thought that was the view width. There should be something that sets this, right? Screen ratio, non-integer scaling allowed. Well, it seems like it's non-integer. It's just that the ratio, game width, game height. Set letterbox. Set view width, set letterbox, view height fraction. Okay, so we had visible view width, and then this thing is resetting our aspect ratio. And there is no override for that. Now what is set view size? Only take one argument. Oh, this is still in map pool mode. Seems kinda okay. Okay, so we're still changing the spacing. Got us a more square image and filled in the image. But we're still over allocating our thing, which means that our screen width and screen height is still buggered. This is SDL, this is game. So when we ask set view center position, visible view width, view height. Are we recalculating view height? Oh. There's another one, init frame drawer. Set view center, set view size. Okay, so maybe it was the other one. I'm not really sure how to tell. Well, I guess I could start doing some text debugging. Revert. Nope. We're still getting too big of a screen. Alright, so in living life, we can dump out... Well, no, it's going to be a get screen dimensions. Map poll total image. Oh! You are deliberately adding the edges of the screen. I'm not sure I want that. Now the problem is that we're also going to have to that gets the scale. Get width, get height. Start x plus total width. Name start, grid center offset. Map poll end, map poll start. So grid center. I am start. That's start and end. Oh, minus equal. Start X, start Y, start X, start Y. Last screen view center. Screen Y. Oh, are you extern? Oh, well, that's editor. I'm not as concerned about that. OnLive client, init frame drawer. In width, in height. Or maybe it's drawer. Oh yeah, Tunnel Sim. Drawstring, game.h, record created game data. Knit fame drawer, pixel zoom factor, game width. So this is assuming that our game width is all set properly. So that should be fine. Screen width, screen height. I guess we can just try it. Okay. We need you. Yep, that definitely didn't work. Also, we apparently had a cursor on something at some point. Oopsie. But wow, that chopped that down. Now, did I change two things there? Or was that just that initial tile? We need to have some smaller amount there? But I thought that was just to get the edge of the screen. Okay, so we've got the cursor problem again. But that looked like it seriously just chopped it to a quarter. Well, okay, so if that's the center positions, then that might have been a reasonable size. Uh, Getting a map pull mode to get just a fixed size image is proving to be awkward. Now, I suppose for what I'm doing, I might be able to set it to exactly the size, pull a single image and stuck it in there if I just went to the center. I'm going to have to adjust, I'm going to have to adjust a lot of things to zoom out though. So if I take these bonuses out, we end up off the corner somewhere. What I didn't see was the thing at least square? Didn't look good, but maybe it was at least square. 2560, 2560. Okay, so it's at least a square. Now the question is, what do we do about it being off the edge? So get screen dimensions, map pull total image, get width, get height. So I have to understand what the heck is going on here. Screen dimensions, get screen region raw, the entire thing. Which, in and of itself, may overshoot a bit from what we want. Because he's set up to jump to the center of the region and then capture the entire screen around it. Whereas we're going to want to be able to say we want to capture this very specific range and then get a fixed size tile around there. So this actually is the center, but it's going off this way. So is that a failure of capture, a failure of drawing? So we get the entire screen around where we are. Last screen view center. Offset that to the center. So start X, start Y. And it's negative for some reason. Oh, yeah, he might be inverted. I forget how that works. Scale is width by width, which I may have to start printing some of this out to figure out how all this is working. So we've got screen width, screen height. We think that's okay. But maybe we should double check. Screen. I'm assuming a screen is going to be integer. I actually might need to, okay, those are ints. So this is after scaling. That is, does that work for a double? So we've got total. We've got the IM start, which is actually going to be you are double. And then IM start. Oh, there's a commented out line here. Interesting. Total IM start is back to int. And then we are set sub image at the start by width and height. Oh, and I had my cursor over it, so we're going to get highlights again. And stand out. I guess it's going to be printing this a whole bunch. Got map chunk. Oh, I didn't compile. Actually, 10 by 10 probably isn't what we want to use. Probably want to do powers of 2 for number of tiles. Let's start. Alright, so screen isn't 720 by 720. It's a start position. Let's screen negative 360 by negative 360 is our yeah, that would not work. Well, actually, what is start used for? Start X start wise goes into total IM start. Yeah. That's why our edges are cut off, because you can't start off the screen. In order to capture the stuff around the screen, we'd have to do all of our tiles knowing exactly how much overshoot we were going to get to pick our locations. And set sub image is our entire screen. Now I think we can grab a subset of the screen. So we know that, well, I guess the half screen is what really matters. Yeah, so about 3 tiles we need coverage for. How? Well, it's kind of hard to see the exact bounds of the image right now. It's probably the same. Let's see, those are trees. In fact, what I'm going to want to do for seeing how this lines up. Oh gosh, there is a thing he turned off that draws a nice little grid. Debug overlay, destination, highlight path, draw a waypoint. Not that one. Trail colors, debug overlay, draw square. It was squares. Well, I think actually shared coordinates would just be useful. There was a debug overlay I found. That's that. So maybe it's somewhere around here. Where it set a color overlay and a... Oh, you know what? It might still be one of my patches, which I don't know if I can... Probably can't look at right now. Listen, or... actually, it's probably my master. Oh. STG series, STG show. Showing debug grid. Was that my variable or was that his variable? That was my variable. Oh, no, it was commented out. Okay. Uh-oh. Debugging grid. Previously declared here. I guess that's the easiest fix for this? Or is this also in the debug grid? Aha, okay. So it's really you that are double declared. Oh, no, but I want to do this in my other timeline. So you know what to look for. So get checkout mapping. Get stash pop. Oh, I didn't grab the ignore patch. I guess that's one disadvantage to not using the patches. All right, debugging grid. All right. And this will tell us, yeah, so we're not anywhere, our screenshots are not at all lined up on the grid. Now, of course, I'm choosing a screen size that is not conducive to that. So probably, Yeah, because I was just taking the height and the width. I mean, what I really want is 256 by 256 images. That's still going to take the 10 by 10 area, but at least it would be a multiple of the tiles. No, this is screen width. Now, what I'm probably going to want to do is totally rewrite things to just grab those, to like do a whole bunch of those tiles at once. Yeah, so it's got a pretty standard perspective on it. I'd have to tweak some other stuff about how the screen scales, but... And... Yeah, we are still not lined up. So the stuff we show in a screen... Well, some of it's... No, because actually, clearly the edge of a screenshot was here. Also needs to be lined up with that. Oh, and I'm getting that 0 because we end up stopping down there somewhere. Y2, yeah, so actually that's Y0. Let's see, so how do I make the screen area? Well, if I truncated the image capture properly. For that, I would have to know exactly how things are sitting. All right, metpol mode off. Oh, yeah, let's shrunk down my screen. Okay, so can't really see this, it's a little bit cut off. So we're sitting in the middle of one of those tiles. And the height is set for 720. I think. Which is not an even multiple. And then the entire thing is sort of scaled. Does that mean we have to hack up this again? That's probably just going to be a couple of tiles. And I might want some kind of scaling factor. Or I guess this just has to be a multiple of the tile size. I think, yeah, but we're centered on one. So we're going to have to adjust for that and figure out exactly how we're centered on it, because it's not going to be exact. So other things we could do... I mean, if I added just the right amount of fudge to it, you'd get a number of tiles. Oh, but we're still at 256. Which is ultimately what we want to capture. That's at least a 4 times scale there. So that's out of position. Yeah, so I need to account for the fact that we're in the center. Oh, actually, can I just, can I fudge with last screen view center? I think it's actually just basing it on grab the center of the screen. Last. Well, this is specifically going to be in map mode, map pull mode stuff. Get screen, last screen. Start X is based on last screen view center. So actually I could probably just use the map grid somehow. But something in map pull mode, yes, is setting last screen view center. All right, I'm going to take a short break and see if we can tweak that to line up. Be back in a bit. Yep. Ah! Well, I can at least try to get near to the truck, or actually I could even try to get near to home base from this height. See, you got to make that body retrieval easy. You just put it right along the path, pick it up on your way back to the truck.
What? How did he not die from that? He was literally getting hit. And he just stopped getting hit.
Punto.
¿Hay alguien en el punto?
Sí, una fara.
Ah, que tiene la skin de. Ah, qué fuerte. Yo quiero esa.
¿Cuál? ¿De qué?
La de Symmetra. La de. Esa es Symmetra Warframe, totalmente. Es Symmetra Lotus.
Sí, sí me trago así, vale.
Espérate, te voy a enseñar.
Vale, como tienen, claro, tienen una para mis cosas.
All right, welcome back. So this is going to take just x equals current x. Now what is the x and y here? This is in step. Is this saying the screen has caught up with us? X and Y, binary chunk. Oh, is this the coordinates of a map received? Map D. Apply, receive, offset. Yeah, this must be the coordinates of... Hey, I'm not quite sure where to start with that. Elon Drazoko? How's it going? Okay, so so if we received the thing we were looking for a map pull, then reset our view center, but we're setting it to just XY alone. Okay. And then our map is ending up centered. I'm not quite sure which way to offset this. Now, it might try to recenter in interactive mode. Or maybe view center position is doing some other stuff with that. Yeah, because we're definitely still offset. Set view center, is this a library function? I've got minor gems open somewhere. And thank you for the follow as well. I'm glad you like watching me pour through code and don't understand. Nope. Just center is center. So is it even caring what I put in here? Or did I forget to compile last time? Oh, but it only applies this fix up in map pull mode. So I can't really use interactive to test that. Settings. Oh, did I recompile after doing the halves? Okay, that definitely looked off. That might have been lined up. And we still have some other problems to work out. Weird, there's actually some fade on that one. I wonder if they're still doing some letterboxing. So this edge is fine, and I think our alignment within the overall output image is not good. So that gets this capture. I think we're still using... Probably still making some other assumptions, and then I might have to do some letterbox. Interesting, that's only the top. I'm gonna do some letterbox stuff. All right, so it's capturing that image. It might actually I still got the log. It might still be trying to put stuff off the edge of the screen. Yeah. So the first bit, the first capture is actually sort of not working. Kind of the next one, we start at 16, which actually seems kind of inefficient as well. Let's see, if we're doing, well, it's 256, but it's 1024. Let's see, 256 is 2 tiles, 512 is 8 tiles. That's 16 tiles across, 8 tiles across. And we're stepping in 5s right now. So actually I did end up increasing the screen quite a bit. So he was going by 5s. If we are approximately plus and minus 8, is that right? 128. 256 is 2. 512 is 4. No, okay, so 1024 is 8 across. So we could maybe go a little bit more than 5. Although it's convenient for hitting multiples of 10. So our initial capture is trying to put stuff off the screen. You can do it by a lot. And the next one is only 16 off. Although this is working in actual pixel coordinates, it looks like. And we're getting a 640 by 640. Where are we getting 640 from? Total is map pull total image. Why did we allocate a 640 by 640? Oh, because it was 10 by 10. Oh, so actually it's 20 tiles. And then we've got a scaling factor of right now, let's look like 4. Yeah, so that's 10 to negative 10 to 10. Okay, but we expect that to be zoomed a little bit. So that should be, but that's not exactly what we want. Well, I need to pick my plus minus better probably. Which could actually kind of affect things. So if our goal is to take, well, we've got a scale of 4 right now. Or rather, our view area is at least 8. What if we just made this plus minus 8? Then that would give us 16 times 128. And we got a scale of 4. So our output image then becomes 512. But our goal was to produce 256 images. Now it's based on the scale factor. So if I actually increase my screen width, that will change scale factor. Let's see, those are all soft settings. Nope, that became 1024 by 1024. And our offsets are still about as messy. Okay, so I did round off. Cutting that in half, I presumably cut that to 512. So do I need to make my screen twice that for it to work? And then screen width, screen height. And that's compile. Oop. Oops. Oh, the output size is a function of your plus and minus. Okay, well that didn't work. Maybe my view is too small. It is perfect squares, though. But I'm jumping by too much for this. Actually, I'm jumping by 5 and 5. So how do I arrange... This is still 1024 by 1024. I guess what's it? Smaller screen sizes? Alright, so we want to get as much in a view as possible. I probably need to just kind of rewrite this whole thing a little bit. And then Map pull. It is X and Y. Map pull current. So if we are doing that, I think we might actually be able to go to 8. If we're doing the 1024. I might need to make this even smaller. Well, or I have to set my dimensions to like 4 by 4 wouldn't even work nicely with that. Okay, so yeah, now we've got the alignment with the output problem. So we're still jumping to more or less the center of that thing. And then capturing the screen around us. So we give a center location, it gives us the map around there. I don't know exactly how much around there. I probably need to change my strategy. I don't necessarily want, well, I mean, at some point I kind of want to put together, at high zoom, I'm going to need to be able to put together large images. At small zoom, I could just go around capturing all little fragments. Yeah, so this is our 0, 0. Which I guess really would be end up in the corner of these things as you did this. But at some point you'd have that in the middle of a bigger tile. So what map pull does by default is it gets the center of the coordinates we give it. And then pulls the area around there, and then we screen out the entire thing. But if we want to specify an area that we want an image of, then you sort of want to figure out what chunk you want to map. Get the center-ish of that. And then get an appropriately aligned shot of that chunk. Alright, so we've got a map pole current, which makes all kinds of assumptions, and in fact, he's assuming that is the center bit. Yeah, so that is the thing we request. It is the thing we check against to see if we got it. Center on that. Where do you initialize these? It has to be a get settings. No? Map pole start, okay. Map global offset. Start to end. Okay, that's that. So actually we kind of care about where that gets initialized. Equals start. So I want to know is how big is the amount of stuff we want to grab, which is based on our screen height and width. We want to go to the center of that. Ish. Apply receive offset. Well, current start and end. Man, is screen width even valid at this point? First server messages, well, okay, maybe. So then it gets the settings. Okay. Where is screen width? Got screen dimensions. We want to be minus screen width divided by cell. Or is it minus? Actually, this is start. Yes, minus. I think the start was the positives. Map pole end. Oh no, map pole end is positive. Map pole start is negative. So you're actually going to be plus. And arguably, that screen width would also determine how big of a step we want to make. So that gets us to fetch our centers. I don't think that's going to make a very big difference by itself. It might move things around a little bit. And I might have to adjust which way I'm rounding this. You. Nope. Oh man. Oh, you know what? I probably do a reset start. And the edges of this are not lined up. I probably use map pull start X again as we iterate. Yeah. I probably need to have like a variable I use for this, this, and this stuff. Oop. Beautiful. Yeah, so we did one pass across here and then reset to this, which doesn't seem... Man, was that a single block? Because our start position... I expect maybe the pacing of things. It's kind of centered in the overall image. Although still offset here. All right, so having adjusted the center positions we get, screen width, screen height, screen dimensions, there's the screen. We get the entire screen, which I think we've got lined up. Start X, start Y. Last screen, view center. Start X, start Y is ultimately going to do where we set the sub image. So it's offsetting last screen, view center. So this is like in the sort of virtual screen coordinates. Oh yeah, and how is our total image doing? We are at 512 by 512, so I still haven't got that worked out. Maybe that means I'm doing a smaller area. Okay, so we start. We got a bunch of offset stuff here. It's weird locations. We would like our first screen, I think, to be at 0, 0. So we've got a start, a image size, a grid center, map pull end X plus maps. So then the IM start is where we actually put this, which it's interesting how the X and Y are coming out very different here. Grid center is a 6 by 6 offset, which is also a weird value. Grid center offset. Map pole end, map pole start. Oh, these got offset by something in the beginning. Which is giving you a weird... I mean, it used to work fine, so I guess it's doing good stuff, but it's very confusing. So start X, start Y is already not necessarily what we want. So that's screen coordinates. X minus, X, Y minus half. 144, 112. I guess I'm going to want to know what did this... Well, this managed to center the tile, kinda. Actually, I know... So that's going to be a screen coordinate. If it's no, this might be a world coordinate. But wouldn't this just be screen to world 0? Or like mouse to world 0? We should already have variables there. Pull final image. Not map poll, not map poll. So what if... Now we are inverting this, so I'm not sure about that bit. Int to float. Screen to world float float. That's an int. Oh, this is probably world grid coordinates. And we want this to be 0, 0. Is this a thing? In this project, or is this a minor gems thing? Really? Screen to world, mouse world coordinates. Let's just view size spread that across screen width only. Must be a flag that says the mouse is in world coordinates. Really? Defaults to true. Set mouse reporting mode. Set it to true. Okay, so screen to world. We give a in coordinate. Screen width, screen height. View size plus view center. No, I don't want world coordinates. I don't think. Hey, Mechadizzle, how's it going? Last screen view center X. This must be in world coordinates. Let's see. I want to do this based on where my current max is, my current map fetch is. Maybe what I need to do is well, he uses map fetch X for so much. Map pull X. Map pull current X. Yes. I need to come up with my own mode. Actually, pull mode. Not. I skipped over it. Not. But I'll have to, if I offset it, I have to back it up by exactly that offset. Maybe I just need to write my own map poll. So we might still need to be keeping track of the X and the Y. We need to keep track of the center and see when the center comes back. Because we want to fetch the center of the area we're looking at. And arguably, we could figure back from there. So that's screen coordinates. Screen coordinates. I think. Oh, no, and here's the grid center. Well, it's grid center, which is based on a grid offset. Map pull end plus map pull start. Is that making sense? Yep. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. So it's always 6. I don't know why it's 6. We did some. There was some like map offset stuff. End X. Is this supposed to be minus? I mean, we know it works. But I'm not entirely sure why it works. So we have our initial IM start. We offset it by the grid center. So we get our start coordinate, which is the center minus some offsets. That's actually 112, 112. By negative 112. Not a nice number. We're in a 512 by 512 image. This is just recentering that position. We have grid center, so we know that's just going to be times there. Mm, mm. Actually, we've got that exactly down here. And there was that total height. Look at inversion. So start X, start Y, offset by center of the image. So is start X, start Y like this supposed to be like the screen? Last screen to center, offset by the width and the height. Then we do a different offset by width and height of the image. So are we taking the center to the upper corner and then back to the image center? So assuming this is actually the center, which we've tweaked that a little bit, we go back to the origin, we go out to its center, we do a fixed offset on that, and somehow we get, right, these are world coordinates. So that actually is kind of the corner we want. Then we're moving that back to the center for where it gets placed in the image. And then the grid offset. So that's just the center of the image, and then we have some sort of grid offset. Okay, I sort of understand the first two parts. We try to go to the upper corner of our screen capture, and then back to the center, and then to the center of our map pool total image. So this is like world coordinates. Yeah, okay, so world coordinates. Offset within the image. And out of that, we're getting a coordinate within the subimage. Screen X, screen Y. Uh, mm, uh, mm, uh, uh, mm, uh, mm, mm. I guess my question is screen view center? Well, we used map to initialize it, so it has to be like world coordinates? Minus the screen. Width. So it's world coordinates of that plus the center of that image. And there's a grid offset. Oh, okay, so this is getting our start position. I'm still not sure why it's... Not entirely sure why that's a plus. And this is offsetting those coordinates to get us back to image coordinates proper. So this gets us to image coordinates proper. So this is saying we're going to take a center. I'm going to go to the corner, go to the corner. Well, if we grab the screen, it is sort of based on center. But I'm not getting things I like. This, because we do have a screen that's sort of lined up. But we're getting these start coordinates that are... What are we starting with here? Yep. Now, last screen view center is a double pair. And I should really make bookmarks for these things. What was that? Oh, I missed another one somewhere. Wait. Oh, I changed the wrong one. I want the standout for that. So my center is at... Right, because we went to one tile and back to the corner. That's actually been scaled. Where is this going wrong? Because if this is at a certain position here, how are you getting offset? Oh, this is screen width to screen W. But that still should be applied uniformly. Start offset to corner. We did print out the scale 0.25. We've got that one. Oh, right, we copied the scale. How are we getting asymmetric? Okay, so we've got a problem here. Why are we getting 576,448? So what we really need here is, what the heck are you doing to me? Yeah, there might have been some letterboxing somewhere, so I haven't completely cleaned that junk up. Uh, where? Huh? Okay, one is plus, one is minus. So we do a center offset. So this must be the center offset by 64 in each direction. The y gets inverted to also be negative. So me offsetting the center a little bit is kind of messing me up. Because I get this weird offset position that doesn't make much sense to me, really. I kind of want to do minus minus here. Although that will make that double negative. Whereas this seems to suggest... Yeah, the offset ends up working... Oh. Maybe this is weird because I wasn't thinking about which direction these go in. This is probably current Y is the one that gets weird. So you might actually have to be plus for these to work out even. Or maybe the other one has to be plus. Well, that didn't entirely work. Seems to put us off a weird edge somewhere. But now this is making a little bit more sense, and still not sure I like these numbers, but I kind of want 0, 0. So that is not. Of course, it all depends on the coordinate systems of everything. How about plus minus? Oh, but map poll current X has to get updated somewhere. Oh no, this is not. Oh, an X gets screen width. All right, that was the cell offset, and I think the cell offset was kind of what we were seeing there. Actually, I did fix that. But I may have to be careful of this as well. Okay. So it's like, this is like cat 2 chunks. None of which feel like they're lined up in a useful way. Two negative 6. Negative 6, 6? Right, I did offset this at some point. Maybe I did it incorrectly. Map poll start X. So why are we doing... So I think I was going 8 to 8. Yeah, 8 to -8. And we offset by... well, maybe that's... Well, if that's one block, or maybe it's... No, it's 4 wide. So why would that not be 4 in? Well, there's also... Maybe I need to do this after the offset. Map global offset. Also, I'm doing a... Let's see, start we said was negative. Oh, map global offset is map pole current. Oh, maybe I'm getting a double hit there. No, it was map pole start. Maybe I want to do that after getting things set up. But that was initializing yeah, this is uninitialized. So it is setting that to... Should you be start? Or is that going to mess everything up? Because it's not going to be the first section we receive. This could also be a plus-minus thing. Nope, and it's still asymmetric as well. It's one of the things that's got me weirded out. Okay, so we're still going map 6-6. 2-6, 6-2, 2-2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, that sort of makes sense. That would be doing 4 batches. Yeah. Oh, now our first center is way different. Because we did change... was that this? Not declared. What? Oh, center, current. Maybe I can't mess with this? I might have to do something to explicitly think in target screen areas. Fetch the center of that, fetch the center of that, fetch the center of that. I was curious. Yeah, okay, so that was messing up my center a little bit. So in theory, oh, nope, my theory is wrong. Initial IM start. Uh-oh. Oh, I misspelled it. Is even. Grid center is even, but is applied asymmetrically. So we do map -6, -6. It's putting on screen width, screen height. How do I convince this that our first image well, should go at one of the corners. So initial IM start, grid cell size times scale, which is why it isn't the full mount. Well, can I actually use map pull current differently? I'd have to change. To change that, less screen view center. We'd have to send the center, we'd have to have an ID of the current view box. I think I need to actually be thinking in screenshots here rather than trying to convince this. So that's the center, offset, start, initial IM start is this like weird scaled thing. Right, because we're rebasing it based on center. And then I'm not entirely sure what's up and what's down. Well, yeah, because we've got the map coordinate system, we've got the image coordinate system. Which is one of the things that makes it very confusing. So what I want is I want to be thinking if I'm grabbing from -8 to +8, I want to be iterating over screen-sized boxes of that. And doing a map pull somewhere in the middle. Now the current you know what? I think I might actually. So I'd be thinking in terms of corners. But we have the thing we fetched. Also, this is going to have to assume that our screen is a multiple of our output to get written, I think. So I want to think in terms of corners, but we need to fetch the center of the box. I probably also want to, it's like I can recalculate this. Well, that is going to kind of be the same for both. It's like the current kind is what we want. Anywhere we're using screen width, screen height. Screen width divided by cell D. Wait, that's offsetting by an entire screen. I might have wanted to do divided by 2 on that. Now our stride is going to be a screen. And oh, and this is the center. Yeah, I may have been off by a center here. Please, yep. Okay, so map pull stride X is this. Stride Y is this. And then U wanted to be, so that might have been part of what was messing me up. I was trying to center it, and that was offsetting by the entire screen. Red start X, start Y, offset by half. Let's see if that gives me more intuitive coordinates. Because the 6-2 thing was a little weird. I was actually offsetting by 2 had made sense there. Oh, that was doing a lot more work. I probably need to print out strides somewhere. Well, I mean, if we look for the map commands. Yeah, that's going by 2s and offset by 1, which says that our stride is... Oh, that's screen width. I need the, which means I was using the wrong thing all along. That's screen dimensions. This is the game virtual space, which means I didn't even need to do this. And actually there was one of these where I had to fetch that again. Yeah. Don't need that anymore. This is let's put this be too much better, but oh. That's just like half a tile offset in the place we're sticking it. So where are we going awry? -4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. That actually is just about what we want. Dim center. IM start 272. We are currently outputting 512, 512. Which is right there. Grid center. Time scale. Now, where is initial IM stars 144, 144? So that's helping. Negative. Yeah, that feels very weird. Seems like that should be zeros for what I want. Or 120, is that 128? That is 16 pixels off. And 16 is my center offset. Which I used to get the screen capture to line up nicely. Oh, but then we're subtracting the entire screen width from it, assuming it actually is center. Well, I mean, it kind of should be center. But we're only apply that little tweak if we're in screen capture mode, so it's kind of hard to look at. So we've gotten the screen captures to be aligned to the grid. Oh, that means our screen should be on a tile. There's total width. Do a scale. Negative 48448. Wait, start offset, screen width. So it would be 512, 512, but the center has perfectly offset us. Wait, why is... Maybe that's the world coordinates? Because that does have to change over time. Yeah, so there's... Most of these are pretty minor. Well, it's probably, yeah, sign changes. We just need to get rid of that little... Maybe... Do I need to go to cells and round? So we've offset screen view center with the idea that that would line up the grid, since normally it was centered on the center of the tile. Makes me wonder if the drawing code is purposefully grid offset. Draw map cell. Screen X, screen Y. But this is already determined the map index. And apparently where to place it. Map I, cell D times world X. Map offset, map dimension divided by 2. Is that really a screen coordinate? I mean, it's cell D. But if you just take times world X, well, no, okay, so that can be, no, world X is an int. Some of these things are fractional, but that doesn't leave any... See, I know it does partial scrolling. Is this some sort of aligned buffer? Wait, what? Double pair. Map drop offsets. Pause X, pause Y. Pass pause. Hmm. So he's doing the screen scrolling somehow. I'm not entirely sure how. Maybe he's got some sort of global offset? Right, so that is center X. So in the world space, it is offset by half. I'm not quite sure. That would either be 64 or, well, he uses cell D a lot. Oh, we're... Stone jiggle position, draw square. I don't know how those coordinates get offset. Well, I mean, there's some sort of map offset. But my problem is that in order to get it lined up to the screen, I have to do the offset. But then that gets run into the image start coordinate. Which I don't want to have that offset. Screen view center. Unfortunately, this gets used in so many places, I imagine. Map poll current X. So if map poll mode, we offset the view by that. Set view center position. This is system, I guess. No, not you. Duh. Oop, wrong way. So we only use this here. So this would be x minus cell d divided by 2 plus cell d divided by 2. Well, I wish I understood that better, but it's something. All right, now, so the standard leaflet tile is 256 by 256. I guess I could play around, because I know some of the zoom mods do some stuff. Is how big can we make our view? That's probably going to be too big. That's going to make the image bigger, I think, as well. Oh, that didn't look terribly promising. Huh. It was actually made up of multiple images, though. Now, interestingly, we didn't catch any of the off-the-map stuff. Oh, but increasing it did shrink our image. Oh, geez. Okay, so, yeah, that's very shrunken. We did not get any of the off the edge of the map tiles. So that made our final output image smaller. Well, I may not have had enough territory to properly process it. But I mean, this is kind of larger. Well, actually, it's 1280 wide, so I guess that's no. Going to be based on the map tiles, but for the screen captures, right, I guess that increases the scaling difference between our two pieces. So it ends up as a smaller image? Right, because it's doing screen captures. Settings. It is kind of weird that we're not setting this directly. Screen height. So we need to make this to get the output image we want even smaller. Oh wait, did I recompile? Did not. Now this is kind of forcing a certain size on us, although this is going to be a pretty zoomed back image, which is going to be appropriate for what we're doing. And we might actually be able to go one level lower by just doing a single screen. Yeah, so that's even that's already pretty blurry. And this is just going to be one little tile on a screen, so the display size would presumably be around there, where it's kind of appropriate. Okay. So for a proof of concept, we've got this image. We can And this is something I'm thinking I'm going to need to automate internally to the program. But for a proof of concept, so map pull end 8, 8, 0, 0. Oh, this is where we have to start saving stuff. So this one is -8, -8 to 8, 8. Oh, is this going to be affected by the total area we survey? Yes, it is. Well, we're actually going to need to make the screen smaller as we do this. So that sort of works. Although screen size might be a startup time only thing in the engine. Well, probably going to be do runs at individual zoom levels. But to the 256 tile, we have to do these. At screen width. $256. $256. All right, so this was, let's see, map pull start 0. Map pull end 8. I almost need to keep one window in each. So 0, 0, 8, 8. Map pull. So to get the other quadrant, we would do like start -8 end 0 to move over one quadrant there. Okay. And then, so that was, oh man, did I change X? That was X. So -8, 0, 2, 0, 8. Wait, does that make? Yeah. Map pull. So then we would want to rotate Y. Just for conservation of changes. And this is, so that was -8. This must be -8 again. So we changed x, we changed y to x is still 0 and 0. And the other quadrant, we go back to x and make that 8 and 0. So we changed x again. And y should be -8. And then x goes to 8 and... Is it 8, 8? Yeah, there's only ever 8 here. We did negative... No, we need... Do we need 2 zeros every time? Got the full image. 2 zeros, 2 zeros, 2 zeros. Or is that to 8, 0? Because we've got inner zeros. You don't have outer zeros yet. Now this, we can put in our archive. Oh, I also have to convert all these. You know what? This is actually a pain. So that is our complete image. Export as. I'm going to have to get ImageMagick or something for this. Although, wasn't there... Jason had added some stuff for JPEG. libpng. PNG image converter. Oh no, we're in game. Living life page. I should probably still work with the pieces I got, but that would save me a lot of time in the future. Map, poll, total, image, set sub image, write TGA file. So this is game graphics. Read TGA. Now for photos though. Oh, no, photos was its own thing. STBI write JPEG to Funk. So he's doing some... Oh, right, he's trying to add his little, his thingamajig. STBI write PNG, JPEG write func, file name, width, height, data, We have need a stride. So it already has to be in raw bytes. So we've got data here. Oh right, he's done all the conversion. Now, I think border alpha gray. I think he said that the image he's working with is in floating point. Double gray, get channel. Yeah, so we'd have to go through, and of course this is in grayscale, so we can just work with that. Data I. Width, height. Well, this is JPEG. Oh, this appears to be based on an RGB that he converted. So then that would make it stride 3. All right, so that's some stuff we can investigate. Right now, we have one PNG. Actually, this is the one. Actually, looks like I associated this. Export as. I've got you. Got you. All right, so this is just, do I keep the other thing up? All right, so I had, no, it's leaflet images. Wait, did I? Okay, that's leaflet proper. All right, so I think I need, well, I don't know what I need. I think I need to sort of invert the scale on this. I'm still not sure how the coordinates work with this thing. So we only had one corner. So this is where I need, I don't have a browser for this. Leaflet tile coordinates. Cartesian coordinate system. Actually, is this something relevant? Tile names and coordinates. What are you? Raster image tiles from what? Raster image tiles dir. Okay, so it looks like this is for converting large images. But pretty much just chops them up. And this is still topographic. I know I've seen a thing that actually has a graphic of this. So this is interesting, but it's not what we want. I guess we need to get into the leaflet stuff, because I know one other topic's had it. Yeah, that's completely custom stuff, which you might want to get into. It's tutorials. Zoom levels. And are not giving us the coordinate numbers on that image, though. It's like, sure, it breaks up like that, but what's 0 and what's 1? Well, I guess for proof of concept work, I can keep with the standard 0 is the largest, but that means everything has to move around every time you change your scale. So tile 0, this was... Oh, you do not like loading this whole thing. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think that's that one. So we want that to be... oh, I had a little directory for you. And I can grab them from there. All right, so you're going to be the top level image. And these we should have. No, not everything. I copied this one again for a reason. I think that's the entire thing. And then at zoom level 1, right, this is this YX or XY? Well, I'm going to need a 1 regardless. And then there's a question of, is it up or down, or maybe it's -1. So we had a 1. Actually, this... See, so 0, 1, I think this was the lower corner, if I had it placed correctly. I'm not sure if that is lower corner. I don't know. Things are... maybe I should try to get one piece to work so I figure out which is which. So this, it's hard to tell. Yeah, and the numbers got rehomed in here. Okay, so this is the upper corner. Ooh. If that's the spring, then we've got an overlap problem. I think this is the upper right corner. Just place that somewhere and then see where it puts it. Where was I doing everything in here right now? Yeah, I think I was. So I've been playing with bounds and having a lot of trouble making it make sense. So the total bounds of this. Actually, I'm now using their standard coordinate system. I might not need that at all. Tile size is going to be default. Native zoom 0, 1. Bounds is not defined. Oh, I still have to fit to bounds. Let's see. So, I mean, this is tile-wise. This is not much. Okay. Okay, so it is interpreting that one as the upper left corner. But then, yeah, if you use default sizes, everything's fine. When in fact, I think it is the upper right corner. Okay, that is soil down there. So we need to figure out what that's supposed to be. Zoom level 1. Yep. So it could be... no, because these are this coordinates. Okay, so it's interpreting that as the lower corner. Yeah, they pretty much expect you to use off-the-shelf programs to convert vector data, so there's like no documentation on how to do these coordinate systems. Or if there is, I couldn't find it. All right, so actually we think this is going to have to be 0 for... I guess it's XY? No, so I'm going to take you, put you over here. All right, so that actually fits. We got a different image because of the person captured, so we're going to have to do something about that. All right, so that was 00288, which I guess if we think of this as being positive. So the world coordinates are in geographic coordinates. And we put that in zoom in 1, 0. So that must be x1, y0, y1 is down below, so it's a little bit backwards. All right, so starting at, well, this is also x0, so this would have to be 0, 0? X is the same, X is the same. What is my coordinate system? It is XY. So that's the same X. Oh no, actually this thing has 2 buckets. One is 0, one is 1. And does that make sense? Well, they're both going to be green areas. I need to update that title too. I'll probably set my initial zoom. Okay, that actually worked. So that's the y coordinate down one. the characters in the center of all of them. Okay, so that was 8 was the 0. So negative 8, 8 should be the 0. And then negative 8 we think should be the 1, which is lower corner. Okay, now that was, oh right, because it zoomed in on that bit. And you can't even really see the crossfade. This doesn't get terribly close, but this is going to be kind of a large scale map, so it should be fine. Oh, I guess you can tell when the characters disappear. And then we got, yeah, a different person in that one. So we've got to fix the photo bombing. And we've got to get this set up to mass produce these, preferably with correct coordinates, or correct file system. All right, B notes. Oh, I can get rid of a lot of this stuff with temp dump. I have a lot of junk in here. Okay. So that's all general. All right, so we need to remove character. We would like to output as PNG. We would like to iterate, or we'd like to iterate and put out multiple files. We will eventually want to get generation in same exe for speed. So this should be very tractable. This should be a little bit tricky. Iteration. So I think I've got it. So yeah, right now. Right now, it's doing the entire thing at a zoom scale. Well, I'd have to have the regular zooming code to draw a bigger section of map. Let's see, in order for this, well, right now that is the most detailed thing, so I might want to switch my 0 and 1 levels and then there's an option in Leaflet to reverse that. Quick start. Maybe that's actually zoom levels. There's a thing that reverses it, because I think we're going to kind of build up to figure out how big we want big to be. Set zoom. Fractional zoom. That was not using actual tiles. Maybe this is straight up documentation. This is a tile layer which has options. Zoom reverse is max zoom minus zoom in URLs. I don't know that we're going to be able to get too much smaller easily. Oop. Zoom reverse. We need to swap these. So you become 0, and you become 1. Uh-oh. And I don't get network because it's in a real server, do I? Oh, you know what? They documented that as max zoom. That seems problematic. So if we do 0, 1, so everything matches. Oh. But we can't zoom in. We can change those 2 levels, though. So I mean, maybe that's okay. But the caution with this is it's tied to max zoom, not max native zoom. Which actually right now we don't need because those are in fact matching. All right, so the main reason we've been using GIMP is because of the image output. So I guess getting it to output PNG would make things easier on us downstream. Now right now we're just working in a branch of this. I kind of want my, well, you know what, it's a branch. Can I get that easily? Oh yeah, drawing the grid. Not overriding view width. We are on a branch. Hacked up, tile, tacked up, single tile capture. So that gives us a checkpoint there. We have photos, which we have. So he's doing all of the stuff here. In-camera location, in-camera facing, get screen dimensions. He's calculating the stuff to capture, get screen region. Ooh, was that what he was using before? Map, pull, total image. Yeah, get screen region raw. He is getting RGB. Calling num pics. And then he looks like, oh, he's doing his own grayscale conversion. Okay. So he's getting this as channels. Applying a bunch of effects. And then doing data plus plus. This is seems obviously converted from a 3-part version. So when we come down here, somewhere we write this out, write TGA file. So map pull total image is presumably an image. Screen width, screen height, rect start. That's our image. We've got RGB. We might want these. Then we do grayscale conversion. Bunch of effects. Num pixels. Seems obviously converted from an RGB output. I don't have data. And we're going to clean up data. There's the image, delete data. And then this is STB write JPEG. Did I find that in this project? Write PNG. Okay, so there is one for each file format. We're just going to do this mapout.png for now. Proof of concept. We got our width, we got our height. Int comp. And we think stride and bytes is 3. What the heck is comp? Oh, compression level. But then it says it's a global variable. Each pixel contains comp channels of data stored channels of data. Each pixel contains comp channel, but then what's stride? If it's not 3. Oops. Yep, nope. All right, before including... Oh, I might actually have to include this in the other file, or make a new file for it. Because this is like a header file thing. Arbitrary write function. Write to func. He was doing something special there. I thought that was because of his effects. Or because he has to capture the data and send it. Each pixel, 0 on failure and 0 on success, image file. Pixel contains comp channels of data stored interleaved with 8 bits per channel. Number of channels, 8 bits per channel. 1 equals y. Oh. So 3 is RGB. And then stride in bytes is the distance in bytes from the first byte of a row of pixels to the first byte of the next row of pixels. He's using 190. Well, he's doing 400 pixels. Well, it's probably a different parameter for JPEG. Living life, but include STB image, right? So I'd almost want to put a little function in here, just because this is a library that gets included as a header. Init photos is just a photo border. Free photos, step photos. That is for the web request. Get next photo sequence number. JPEG write function, append to an array. Take photo. It does a bunch of cleanup on it. So we have to have write PNG so you're going to want a char const pointer file name. And basically all the same parameters, except it's just I can't call that function easily. Well, I can probably assume some of the other stuff. We need int width, int height, and const void pointer data. And photos. Oh no, this is going to take an image. Actually, you didn't have to pass that because he had already gotten the image. From which we can get the height and width. Photos.cpp. All right, and then living life page. We've got. Ah, da, 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 da. Get out of the way. I guess write PNG file would be the equivalent of that. Data was something we used internally here. So it would be write PNG file to be JSON compatible. Photos. All right, now what are you complaining about? I was not declared in this scope. Oh, is this actually bugs from... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he had the int I equals... right, I still have the question mark in here. So we think that this is 3. So stride in bytes would be 3 times width, no? Oop. And the file name is a provided parameter now. And then we'll go back to living life page and see just how badly we broke this. Let's see. So this was, I mean, I guess we can go back to the 8x8 for working purposes. For testing purposes. Map pull and x 8 and y 8. Start x, -8. So I think pull y is going to be fine. Ooh. Well, maybe it's slower because it has to do some encoding. Or maybe it just doesn't work. So I'm going to have to try and get where I can see the output of that. I don't suppose that we're actually able to get anything in here. Got map chunk. Start offset start. Seems like that just got cut off abruptly. Maybe it didn't flush. Now is there maybe... Nope. How about... Not you. No, actually we need to be in this one. No, not. I didn't want you. All right, so map. One thing got output there. Segmentation fault with no context. Now sometimes been able to get extra. Well, no, looks like it was pretty much this. Been able to get stuff by redirecting. And when I was doing that, it doesn't do as much. Nope. Okay, so that's not. That's not useful. I guess the thing we have to ask is, what is it the right? Is it the buffer manipulation? Maybe my stride is messed up. Okay, so it's something I'm doing. So the obvious one would be here. That was not a segmentation fault. Oh, right. We're storing RGB data, so we have to allocate 3 times as much data. Fancy that. Wasn't a segmentation fault. Hey, we got a mapout.png, which is exactly what we expect. All right, one problem down. The character's minor, but I guess but these other 2 are like epic projects. Where is my code? Save map poll as PNG. Living life page. So there's probably a stage where we do all people. That would be live objects, right? So this would be draw live object, would just kind of nuke it. Not move through queue in order drawing. Okay, so sort extra moving objects. Moving objects. I guess could run into some trouble with other things. Held draw on top. Well, there's the debugging grid. So that's still background. This might be a multi-pass thing. Sort moving objects. Move to the queue in order drawing. Non-behind marked objects in this row. Over player objects. We really don't need to remove. So this is kind of how JSON does things. If not map poll mode, just take that entire thing out, no brackets, which is a nice little miniature change. All right, so right now, our image has a character in it. And our image still has a character in it. So that's not the whole story. Did I recompile? Sometimes I'm changing settings, sometimes I'm recompiling. Okay, so we took care of the character. All right. So I would need some information about the stride we're going for. Or some way to set it up as a server mode. So based on all of those settings, we grab that segment. Oh, you know what? This is probably... now this doesn't give me the easy stats. One nice thing about GIMP is I always had the height and width there. Properties? Do we get image properties? Yeah, 512 by 512. So for this scale, I want to tweak things back. So if I'm going to do multiple images, I'm going to have some way to have it finish that, write out the image, and then reset things. There's going to be like a whole other loop on what we're gathering. And I'm probably going to want to set it up so you can put it out in the correct structure as well. All right, well, that is a major step. I want at least a break, and it's getting close enough to lunch. I think I might just want to call it here. And then take on this sort of outer iteration for streamlining some other time. So that's it for now. Maybe I should just skip these screens. But thanks for watching. Thanks for everybody who hosted me. What do we got? Let's see. Nobody I know playing One Life right now. I've been curious to see how the changes are going to pan out here. This is about when I tend to be on. Sometimes go a bit later, but I happen to wrap up or hit a nice breaking point here. What do we got? Okay, got somebody working on some code. It doesn't really say what. But if looking for someplace cool to hang out, Mr. Demon Wolf is working on some kind of code. But he's somebody I've enjoyed watching in the past. Hopefully you'll enjoy him as well. thanks for hanging out with me. And if that's someplace cool to hang out, if you need someplace cool to hang out, goodbye and until next time.